Imagine walking into a small one-bedroom apartment in Montreal and hearing the landlord casually mention a monthly rent of $1,800. Just a few years ago, that same unit might have rented for under $100. This is the reality facing thousands of renters across Quebec, from Montreal's high-demand downtown core to mid-sized cities like Sherbrooke and Trois-Rivières. Quebec's rental market has become one of the hottest and most challenging in Canada. The question everyone is asking: why are rents rising so fast, and when will relief arrive? The supply crunch. The root of Quebec's rental market crisis is simple economics. Too much demand, not enough supply. Over the past decade, population growth has surged, fueled by immigration, interprovincial migration and urbanization. According to housing experts, Quebec would need hundreds of thousands of new units to restore balance to the market. Yet, despite a wave of new construction, especially in purpose-built rentals, it isn't enough to catch up. Vacancy rates, which should ideally hover around 3% for a balanced market, remain stubbornly low in most Quebec cities. In Montreal, vacancy rates have floated closer to 2%, and in high-demand neighborhoods, they're effectively near zero. Montreal, the epicenter of soaring rents. Montreal, Canada's second-largest city, has become ground zero for rental pressure. Since 2019, asking rents have jumped roughly 71%. Home prices have risen about 58%. Wages have only increased by about 30%. This gap between incomes and housing costs is the heart of the affordability crisis. Many tenants are spending well above the recommended 30% of income on rent, forcing difficult choices about where and how they live. Beyond Montreal, rising rents across Quebec. While Montreal gets the most attention, other regions are experiencing similar stress. Quebec City, once considered affordable, it has seen double-digit rent increases as demand spikes and inventory shrinks. Sherbrooke and Trois-Rivières, these mid-sized cities are absorbing overflow from larger centres. Their affordability attracts new residents, but as demand climbs, so do rents. Okanagan style effect. Just as BC's Okanagan attracts buyers priced out of Vancouver, smaller Quebec markets are feeling pressure from residents leaving Montreal. Why rents keep climbing? Several structural forces are driving the surge. Population growth. Quebec is experiencing rapid population increases from immigration and domestic migration. Newcomers overwhelmingly rent first, adding immediate demand. Delayed home ownership. With mortgage rates high and home prices climbing, many would-be buyers are staying in the rental market longer, keeping demand strong. Construction bottlenecks. Even though housing starts are up, especially for rentals, delays caused by labor shortages, rising material costs, and zoning restrictions slow the pace of delivery. Short-term rentals. Platforms like Airbnb remove units from the long-term rental market, further tightening supply in tourist-heavy cities like Montreal and Quebec City. Speculation and renovictions. Some landlords take advantage of demand by renovating units and relisting them at much higher rates, a practice that has become controversial across Quebec. Policy responses and their limits. Quebec has tried to ease the rental crisis with legislation, including Bill 31, designed to protect tenants and regulate rent increases. Still, enforcement challenges and loopholes mean many renters face sharp hikes. Municipal governments, especially in Montreal, are pushing for more affordable housing programs, but scaling them to meet demand remains difficult. Developers, meanwhile, are responding by building more purpose-built rentals, a positive trend, since these are designed for long-term tenants rather than speculative flipping. In fact, more than 80% of new housing starts in early 2025 were rentals. But the backlog of demand means it will take years for this to fully impact affordability. The human impact. Behind the numbers are stories of real people struggling. Students cramming into small apartments with multiple roommates to afford school in Montreal. Families being forced to move farther from city centres, adding hours to daily commutes. Seniors on fixed incomes facing eviction or being priced out of their long-time neighbourhoods. The affordability squeeze is no longer just an economic issue, it's a social one. Access to housing determines access to education, healthcare, and community life. Looking ahead, what's next for renters? Experts predict Quebec's rental market will remain tight for the next several years. Even if interest rates ease and some renters move into home ownership, population growth and slow construction will keep supply-demand imbalances alive. Potential game changers include faster permitting and zoning reform to speed up new builds, incentives for affordable housing that go beyond luxury developments, stronger rent controls or tenant protections to curb exploitative practices, expansion of co-op and non-profit housing, giving tenants more stability. Until these measures gain traction, renters will likely continue facing steep competition and rising costs. Quebec's rental market tells a story of resilience and pressure. On one hand, the province is attracting people, investment, and development like never before. On the other, renters are caught in the middle of an affordability storm with no quick fix in sight. So here's the big question. What would you do if your rent jumped 10% in a single year? Stay and pay, move farther out, or fight for policy change? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into Canada's housing market.